Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Hacks and Hunt. Today we're going to be comparing two more bows. I have done the RX4 Alpha versus the VXR made by Mathews, and people got upset and said, you need to do aluminum by aluminum. So now we got aluminum versus aluminum. Let's bring them up here. So we've got the VXR. This is the 31.5 inch axle VXR, and then we have the Axius Ultra by Hoyt. So aluminum to aluminum, long axle to axle by long axle to axle. We got 31.5, and then we got 32, I believe. Let's put them together. 33, maybe. I guess I should probably look that one up. No, this is the Ultra, so it's 34. So if you want to see the VXR 31.5 against the Axius Ultra aluminum to aluminum, go ahead and stay tuned, and we are going to find out which one I want to buy. First up is the Axius Ultra by Hoyt. We are set up in the G position, which is 30-inch draw length. Perfect. So first things first, looking at this bow, looks really nice. It feels really good in the hand. It feels really stable and steady. So let's go ahead and let's just shoot it. First shot out of the out of the Axius Ultra. Wow. So first thing, out that drawback, that string angle. If you guys can see how wide that is, I really like that. That back wall is pretty spongy though. Show you guys that back wall. This bottom cam, when I pull on that string. Alright, so if you pay attention to that bottom cam, when I pull back, pretty spongy there. You can see that kind of moving. And I personally prefer a pretty solid back wall. I just like to know when I hit it's there. I'm not going to be, shooting any different. Let's go ahead and shoot this one more time. The sound of it though, I don't know, sounds kind of loud. Let's pay attention to the sound as well as the hand shock and jump forward. Hand shock is más o menos. It's not nothing crazy. I feel like it does want to jump forward out of my hand a little bit. Nothing crazy. But that sound, I don't know if there's a tag on it. It's hitting or something, but the sound almost seems a little louder than typical. Let's go ahead and shoot that one more time. Draw cycle feels really good. Those new cams do have a really smooth draw cycle. I get used to that. I could definitely shoot that bow. So let's go ahead and throw a stabilizer on it and see how it shoots with a stabilizer. Okay, so now we've got that 8-inch Hoyt stabilizer there on the front to kind of help stabilize it and take away any hand shock, and let's see how it shoots with that. We're also going to see how good of a group I can shoot and compare it to what I can shoot with the VXR 31. Good shot. And I will say, having that stabilizer up front took away a lot of the jump forward and hand shock.
It does want to settle pretty well.
That actually has very little hand shock and jump forward now. It took away almost all of it. Wow, very dead in the hand bow. Throwing that stabilizer on there for sure. Will say it is almost like night and day. Adding that 8-inch stabilizer to the front really changed it quite a bit. This is my one single flyer. I pulled that one a little bit. There's my 4 arrow grouping. Pull those out, and that was with the Hoyt AXIUS Ultra. So the aluminum version of their 2020 bow. So now let's go ahead and shoot the VXR 31.5. Up next is the VXR 31.5, set at 30-inch draw length, 70-pound draw weight, exact same as the Axius Ultra. I will say I am liking this new Mathews grip. I almost like it. I do like it better than the Hoyts, and that is a big deal because I have loved the Hoyts and nothing more than their grip. Like, yeah, I've never liked anyone else's grips. Draw cycle is very consistent with pressure on there. Let's go ahead and fling an arrow down range. Okay, so with this bow having no stabilizer, it has the same hand shock, maybe even a little less than what the Axius Ultra has with a stabilizer. So first things first, it does have less hand shock, being with no other accessories other than a sight and a rest to be able to shoot it. So let's pay attention to the back wall on this draw cycle. I'll bring this up to you guys so you guys can see that cam. So right there, that's me pulling on it. Pretty dang solid, a lot more solid than that Axius Ultra. Let's go ahead and fling this arrow. Good shot. Go with a third shot and pay attention with the sound. Sorry, my arrow was kind of pushed down in that whisker biscuit. All right, definitely a lot quieter. String angle is a little bit steeper, but you are taking away almost about 3 inches to the axle to axle, so that's going to be what's changing that. Let's go ahead and see how she follows through. Let's go with a good solid shot, good follow through. Very dead in the hand with nothing other than a sight and a rest. So I'm gonna go grab those arrows. We're gonna throw a stabilizer on it and then go ahead and shoot another 4 arrows. All right, we just threw the 8-inch Hoyt stabilizer onto this VXR 31.5. Let's see how she settles, how she feels, and how she shoots. Settles really well. It doesn't want to go too far forward. All right, now let's really pay attention to hand shock, if there is any, adding the stabilizer onto the front. And almost like it added it. Hold on. Let's pay attention. Really close on this third shot. I almost feel like there's no hand shock, but it almost added like a jump forward. But let's find out with another shot. Let's take it off. Hold on. All right, let's go ahead and shoot it without that stabilizer and see if it jumps forward. I feel like it jumped forward more with that stabilizer. So let's check. I feel like the stabilizer made it jump more forward. I do have a shorter one that I'm going to test out. This is a 6-inch rather than a 4 or an 8-inch. So we're going to try the shorter one and see how this one shoots. All right, let's go ahead and throw an arrow down range with a lighter, shorter stabilizer and see how this reacts with the bow. Not quite as bad. So I think if you're going to be adding a lot of weight onto the front, it might have a little more jump forward. Might just have that momentum of the extra weight throwing it. So that might be what might be causing that. So that's something to look into and test out when you are test shooting the bow. Make sure you are doing the best that you can to shoot it with a setup similar to what you are going to put on it or that you want to shoot. And just make sure that it shoots before you go ahead and buy all of these accessories. So between these two bows, just shooting them and feeling them and how they shoot and how they perform in the hand, I'm gonna have to say Hoyt AXIUS Ultra. That would be the one I went home with today if I was buying a bow right now out of these two. I'm gonna go with the aluminum Hoyt Ultra and go fling arrows at 180 yards. No, I'm just kidding. No, so if I was to go buy this bow, if I was to buy one of these bows, I would go home with the Axius Ultra, in my opinion. So I hope that helps if you guys are in the market of buying a new bow. And have any questions that you have between these two bows. Hopefully I can answer one of those for you guys. Thanks again to Terry here at TNT Archery here in St. George, always willing to help me out and let me shoot all the bows down at his range. And if you guys are ever in town in St. George, Utah, go ahead and come on into his shop. Let him know I sent you, and check out the bows and stuff he's got here in the shop. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks for the support. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of the support that I've been getting on my channel lately. I've really had a lot of positive comments and feedback, and I just want to say I really appreciate you guys. So go ahead and tune in next time, guys, but that's all I have for you guys today. We'll see you next time.